Today during the New York session, gold dropped all day. And believe it or not, it was because of a headline release between two presidents. My name is Josh Paveo, full-time futures trader and founder of Day Trading University, where we make trading the news easy. In this video, I'm gonna break down the news that was released, why it made gold drop, and the 3 different entries that we were taking inside Day Trading University. So this is how I caught the headline. You can see right here, 8:49 a.m. Eastern time. I had a headline that came through on my news terminal that says, the president of China and the president of the US, which is China's Xi, and Trump hold call. If we take a look at gold and look at when this massive drop happened, and we look down here, it was on the 845 to 850 candle, right? So that was at 849. So right now we understand that a headline came out and the exact same time gold dropped. But how come this headline in and of itself made gold drop? Like, how do you know this headline should mean that you should take gold sells? Basically, this is where it comes down to just understanding fundamentals, because if you know what's going on between Trump and China in terms of tariffs and the trade wars, you understand that them having a conversation is most likely positive. If they're going to have negotiations and they're going to make progress on these negotiations, most likely this is going to decrease tensions and it's going to decrease inflation expectations. Both of those are bad for gold. It just comes down to understanding how can the headline impact this piece of the markets that I'm trading. So this is the first trade that we saw play out with the entry here, and this would have been a very impulsive entry. Now, to be clear, I didn't take this trade, but this was one of the first trades that we saw that was a potential opportunity. It was number one, too fast, and number two, if we take a look at this headline, like if we zoom in on this a little bit, right? All it says is that they're on a phone call. I still don't know what's happening. If there was something said that was a lot more solid, I would still enter gold sells impulsively. But the fact that this is just saying that they're on a phone call together, I don't know what the phone call is about. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that I'm going to be paying attention for more headlines, waiting for the results of whatever this phone call was. The second entry was an impulsive one at the new hourly candle. It was when I saw it holding support, and then I entered right here as it was breaking this. This was the next sell here. And the reasons behind this trade here, number one, with this break of support, we had volume with the new hourly candle, and we were just following the downside that we had just seen from this headline earlier. Like I said, I still don't believe this headline was enough to make me want to keep selling gold or enter too impulsively, but with the volume that I saw coming and then also holding below the support, I'm a little more comfortable taking that risk now that we're seeing that continuation. So if we bring the news feedback, we can see that about 2 hours later, 10:40 in the morning, we ended up getting more headlines from China and Trump. So basically now we know that they're off the phone call. Now, if we take a look at what gold did around that same time, we'll fast forward a little bit here. All we got to do is look at the time right here. If you're looking at the bottom, 10:40, when I hover over the first candle here on gold that broke this support, look down at the bottom, you can see that it was right at 10:40. The exact same time that we started seeing the headlines come out with the optimism. The third entry on gold is simply, honestly, anywhere inside of this candle, had you seen those headlines while the candle was dropping, or waiting for the closure and entering this one impulsively as it continues to drop. And we can see if we just play this out a little further, gold melted right after that headline. Like you can see that we were doing nothing but really just consolidating. The minute that headline came out, gold took off and never turned around. I think it's really important to understand like how valuable it is just to know to wait for a trade like this, because I wouldn't have known about this headline that should have been released this morning if it wasn't for seeing the first headline here about them being on a phone call. All you would have seen is a random spike on gold, and I mean, depending on what strategy you try to follow, you would think it's a liquidity grab or something, it's consolidating. You get that shift of price action here, but you have no idea that we're about to see an announcement from 2 different presidents who are currently in trade war together. And if you don't know that headline's coming out, you don't know that you should be waiting for this. And it could be the opposite, because if they came out and they said, you know what, we're not making a deal, then I'd be looking for buys, because it would be the exact opposite. It would increase market fear and increase inflation expectations. And just to show that this is learnable by anybody, like you can see here inside Day Trading University that we have traders here ended up in profit, left a runner, same exact trade after the Trump-China headlines. And you can see the entry, you can see the trade that he took here, taking those gold buys. This isn't something that we're talking about after the fact and saying why the markets move. We're actively catching the trades and profiting from it in real time. You know, I think one of my biggest lessons from trading this today is just having patience and trusting myself, because I knew that there was going to be a moment when a headline would come out and that the speech, the conversation, the phone call was done. And it's either going to be an opportunity to take sells on gold, which it was, or it could have been an opportunity for buys, depending on what happened. But I knew that this was going to happen. Sitting in gold after watching this drop, and then the stock exchange opens, and I'm seeing what looks like gold might take off, you have to fight that FOMO sometimes. This is just more and more proof, and those habits continue to get reinforced the more that I follow those rules, pay attention to fundamentals, and just wait for the right trade. If you want to follow this analysis live with me every day, you can try us out for free by hitting the link below and joining our 7-day free trial. I hope this breakdown was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, put it in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.